think this congregation is a very generous congregation. I think it's grateful for all that it's been given in this world, that it wants to give back, to bring that generosity back out to the world. And so, if you recall, about 1.5 years ago, this congregation voted at our annual meeting that we wanted to tackle one big issue here in Orange County. And we decided that we wanted to look at homelessness. So we've been looking at, and we've been doing all sorts of different things. We've been helping people who are homeless who come to our door, from everything from fixing their carburetor to even giving them a place to stay on occasion. We've also helped dozens of other people who just come knocking on our doors asking for a little bit of help. We fought for fair housing. We've stuffed hundreds of socks with hygiene kits. And we're currently working with Hearts and Hands to help Syrian refugees who are also very much homeless. We're collecting so much stuff that we're kind of overflowing in our storage. This is indeed a very generous congregation. And this year, in our town hall meeting earlier this year, we discussed working with one organization. We wanted to kind of hone it. Homelessness is such a huge issue, right? It's bigger than this church. And so we thought, what if we could partner with an organization where we could have a lasting impact? So we figured out our priorities were, we really kind of wanted to work with youth, obviously homelessness. If there were GLBTQ issues, we would be really happy with that. And we wanted to hear, obviously, here in Orange County. So after a lot of research and meetings, the Homeless Action Group decided that we wanted to work with an absolutely wonderful organization called StandUp for Kids. I want to show you just a little video about some people who are very grateful for this program.
Angela Wheeler has given me the mother figure that I never really had, and the relationships that I needed during that time. They find us off the streets or in various places, and they integrate us back into society and teach us how to go back to school, get that job, have that house, and have the life and the dreams that you always wanted.
I'm just really comfortable with everyone here, and they help me out with whatever. And right now I have a job that I love, and I'm sober, and things are looking a lot better. A lot of it's thanks to them. So.
They picked me up off the streets. I was homeless for about 6 months, and I was couch surfing. And now I've gotten to a place where I'm getting back into school. I'm working on getting a place of my own. My family's on a different county, so I'm out here all by myself, and I kind of have a family through StandUp for Kids.
The whole stand-up group is like my second family out here. They do everything they can for me, and actually they got really close with my mom, so now they know everything pretty much about me, and they've done everything they could for me. Cut.
Well, this morning we have some special guests from StandUp who are going to tell you their story about how they got involved with this organization. And Justine and Brittany, the two employees here from our Orange County office, they work here with StandUp for Kids. This is a national organization, but all of the monies, everything that we do here locally goes to support the local efforts that are here. So I'm just going to let them go ahead and tell you all about it. So please welcome Justine and Brittany. Come on up here.
All right, I get the hot seat. So good morning, thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Reverend Sean. This is an honor and a privilege to come and share a little bit about my testimony and what I'm grateful for today. And then have Brittany share as well. Probably about 10 years ago, I worked in my church as a youth, I taught Sunday school. And my pastor said in a leadership meeting, you probably want to continue your education and always look for ways to stay up on what's happening, increase your skills and stuff like that, because I'm an accountant. That's my day job. So I wasn't feeling very fulfilled, and teaching Sunday school, it was a good experience, but it wasn't me. But I did learn that I really connected with the young people, and I worked specifically with the 6th through 12th grade there. and I would plan special events and life skills, and I started an after school club, and I really found like a passion. And so I went back to school and I got my associate's degree in human services, specifically in family services. And after that, I said, I want more. And so I went on to get my bachelor's degree in human services. Now I'm still an accountant, but I use what I learned in school to work with this awesome organization that I found along the way. I was required to do some internships, and I went to StandUp for Kids, not because of any particular reason, more out of convenience. They had nighttime hours, I could do my internship, because I have 3 of my own boys at home. So I was able to manage my family and go to school and intern and make my hours. So I started, and after the first semester, they asked me to stay as their marketing director, and I never left. That was in 2006. So what I'm grateful for today and why I have so much gratitude is because I found a place where I could use my skills, my talent, my passion, and it doesn't feel like a job. It's something that drives me every day, and I get the awesome privilege of working with people like Brittany. And I was Brittany's mentor. I met her when she was 15. I'm still mentoring her today, and she'll tell you into what. But I'm definitely her mentor, and we have a kind of a mother-daughter relationship now, even though she has a mom. I'm proud. I'm proud that I got to impact her life and many, many more kids along the way. I get love notes all the time, emails and little cards, you know, kids telling me what an impact that I was able to make in their life, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to be there for them when they needed somebody. Sorry, I get emotional, but I'm gonna let Brittany tell her story and how she's grateful today.
Hi everyone. This microphone is a little bit intimidating, so and the podium, but that's okay. Thank you all for welcoming us into your church. It's really filled with love, and the service has been beautiful so far, and I'm sure it's going to continue to be that way. Here you go. So, like Justine was saying, she met me when I was 15 years old in 2010, and like she said, I have a mom, and I don't come from a completely broken home, but you know, I have a dad who's a drug addict and has been in and out of jail my entire life, and we left him when I was 5 years old, and we used to live in Northern California. We moved down here to Orange County, and I have a younger brother as well, and my mom had to work 2 jobs to support us, so I kind of just had a lot of freedom, like they call it a latchkey kid or whatever, but yeah, I had a lot of free reign to do what I wanted, and I got a lot of responsibility thrown on me right away because I had to help take care of my brother and stuff like that. So anyways, Justine met me right before right before I started to, I don't want to make bad decisions and hang out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with. And like I said, I was 15 years old, and I kind of just started rebelling. I guess that I had been an adult for so long that once I turned 15, I was done playing that adult figure, and I started being a kid and acting out. Anyway, so Justine met me at 15 years old, and my mom is an amazing mom, but she's more of a friend figure. And Justine and a couple other StandUp for Kids volunteers came into my life as a mothering figure, as a family. My story didn't just stop and my life didn't become saved. I did go down my path, but StandUp for Kids was there for me throughout the whole process. I mean, Justine taught me how to drive, took me to get my driver's license. I ended up dropping out of high school. She took me to get my GED and tutored me along the way, so I was able to feel confident in taking my GED. I had a lot of issues that I had never dealt with, like things with my dad, and I had some friends that have died, you know, from drug overdoses and stuff on the streets. And I had to deal with that, so Stand Up for Kids got me a therapist. And, you know, as I always kind of craved structure, but I never had that structure anywhere, and Stand Up for Kids gave me, like, it wasn't enabling in any way. It was structure that they gave me, and they told me if I want this kind of life, then I have to do this stuff. And I loved that. I fed off of that. So, I don't know, today I've been sober for almost 3 years, and I got the opportunity to work in the office with Justine, and I've been there since August of 2014. So, like Justine said, she's still my mentor, and instead of helping me with tutoring for my GED or stuff like that, she helps me with how to pay my taxes, which is something I just learned about recently, and it's really awful, you know, but I had someone there to teach me how do you even read this piece of paper, and yeah, so helping me with my taxes. I'm pregnant, so she helped me with my baby registry. She looked at my baby registry, she's like, what is all of this stuff? I had no idea. So I'm still mentored every day, and I'm still insanely close with the other volunteers in Stand Up for Kids. And I actually get to work with the kids on Tuesday nights, and I get to tell them, this is what I'm grateful for. I get to use my experience, which at the time I thought this experience is horrible and nothing good is ever going to come from this. My life is over. I'm also a very dramatic person. You know, I get to take that experience and help the kids on the streets or help the kids in our outreach centers and tell them, I got through this rough spot and you can too, and this is how I did it. And, you know, like I said before, these kids come from all different kinds of circumstances. Some of them come from foster care, some of them come straight off of the streets, some of them we meet in rehabs, some of them we get referrals from other churches. The families don't know what to do with their young kids that are acting out. And it doesn't matter where they come from. If they want help, we will help them. And I don't know, that's just something that I'm grateful for as well for Stand Up for Kids. But let me think what else I have to tell you guys. I don't know, I never thought that I would be able to stand up in front of you guys and speak at a podium and share my story and get vulnerable with a group of, I mean, there must be at least 60 to 80 people in here. I never thought that I could do that, and besides all of the material things that Stand Up for Kids did for me, they gave me the self-confidence to be able to come up here and speak with you all and tell you about my experience, so that hopefully you guys will be encouraged to help the kids that are still out there and still need help. So thank you so much. We'll be here after the service if you have any questions or anything like that, but thank you for listening to my story. I guess I'm still talking. Okay. So really quick, we're gonna go over some of the not boring but logistic stuff of Stand Up for Kids. Our mission is to end the cycle of youth homelessness, and we do that through our volunteers. So we're ran 99% by volunteers. We always need help. And our vision, which we just had our national conference, and we just collaborated together and came up with this vision. It is a world where all youth know care, feel loved, and have a support system to move quickly from surviving to thriving. This is the need for Stand Up for Kids. Just in Orange County alone, there's more than 32,510 homeless kids, and those are just the kids that are registered in school. So that's K through 12 kids that identify as homeless, living in a shelter, in a car, on the streets, in a motel. So those are just the kids that identify, and those aren't the kids in between 18 to 25 that we also work with. So it's a very large number. We also have a problem with human trafficking here and drug abuse, like I was speaking about. 1.7 million homeless children in America. The Orange County, so like Reverend Sean was saying, we are a national organization, and our Orange County chapter was started in April of 2003. So we've been around for a while now, And when Justine first started, she normally tells the story. When she first started, there was only 3 volunteers in Stand Up for Kids. Today we have 40 volunteers, and we have programs running 4 to 5 nights a week. We also have 2 outreach centers, one in Anaheim and one in Huntington Beach. Our family, our volunteers, doing what they do best, working with the kids. I think some of those are at our Christmas party up there. The services and programs that we offer: street outreach, mentoring, we have outreach centers, and apartment support. I don't want to go too into depth because I don't want to be too long up here, but we do have information at the table outside, and it'll go more in depth of what these programs exactly entail and how you can get involved if you'd like to. Oh, me, Blake. Okay, we love Blake. Blake is 23 years old, and when we first met him, this is one of the kids that we met in a rehab. When we first met him, he thought that he was coming to Stand Up for Kids to be a mentor or to volunteer. And we asked him, well, what's going on in your life? How are you? What's going on? He didn't have a job, and he said that he's been eating oatmeal for the past 2 weeks. He's living off of one of those big instant oatmeal things. So, of course, we ended up helping him, and we provided him with groceries, hygiene items. I taught him how to drive, which was a very scary experience. And let's see here. We got him we helped him get multiple jobs, writing a resume, mock interviews, interview clothes. And today, he has over 18 months sober. He works full-time in a drug and alcohol treatment facility. He has his own apartment, a girlfriend, a car, and he's now a volunteer. So he finally got to that volunteer position. It just took a little while. So here's some recent accomplishments. Like I was saying, there's a big problem with drug use in Orange County, and it's not just, it's really bad drugs. So it's like a meth and heroin epidemic, and we noticed that, so we had to adjust to our community needs and start partnering with different rehabs in the community. So in October of 2014, we started our housing and rehabilitation program. We will help kids be placed into rehab facilities or sober living. We offer transportation to NA and AA meetings, whatever they need. It's very case by case. In March of 2015, we opened our second outreach center, which is the Huntington Beach Center. And just recently in September, we launched our STEM program at our Anaheim Center. So that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Upcoming events, we have our Thanksgiving dinner drive. That's where everyone obviously collects Thanksgiving food, and we go and give it to our kids that we have in housing, and we give it to the kids that we have in Anaheim. We give it to their families as well, because a lot of those families are low income, can't afford to buy Thanksgiving dinner, so we provide them with that. We also have a Christmas dinner drive and Adopt a Youth for the holidays. This was always my favorite thing in Stand Up for Kids. Our Christmas party is amazing, and the kids get to write a Christmas list, and we have sponsors, donors that go out and buy the presents for them and wrap them and give them to them at our annual Christmas party. So Santa Claus comes, and there's elves, and it's awesome. All right, ways to get involved. So, like I said, the actual number is 97% ran by volunteers. There is a place for everyone in Stand Up for Kids. So if being a mentor kind of freaks you out, you can do behind the scenes stuff. We always need help with public relations, marketing, graphic design, event planning. If you just want to do a one-time thing and come to one of our outreach centers and serve the kids dinner, that is amazing. They love that. There's a whole bunch of ways to get involved. Just find us afterwards and we'll tell you all about it. Sponsor a youth, so you can sponsor a youth monthly or annually for $29 or $290. And this provides them with stuff such as, bus passes, medical care, clean clothes, clean socks, hygiene items. And last but not least, donation. Here is some of the stuff that, so like Reverend Sean was saying, your donations don't go to our national office. It stays very locally. So if one of you guys made a donation of, say, $250, I could tell you your $250 paid for 2 weeks in sober living for Eric and bought him a week's worth of groceries. So I love that about Stand Up for Kids. Oh, the end. Or is it just the beginning? All right, thank you so much, you guys.
So as you can tell, this is an amazing organization. It does incredible things. And one of the things we did like about it was that there was so much for people to do in different ways. Like, I'd like to sign up to be a mentor, although they did mention that they really need men. So, men out there, just saying, okay? They could really use some male mentors. But there's all sorts of things. Like I said, if you just want to go for a day, if you just have enough time for one day versus an ongoing thing, or if you know, like, I'm way too busy and I have this other volunteer thing I do, because I know many of you do. You know, you could sponsor a kid $29 a month, or you can simply donate some money when you can. We're going to be doing a Share the Plate here with thing, which we'll tell you a little bit about Share the Plate here in a little bit, but it's basically, you know, every other month we'll be doing this with Stand Up for Kids. Because we want to support this organization, we want to get involved. So there's a wonderful sign-up sheet outside. Look for the orange awning, and we'll get you all signed up there. But I want to just take a moment to just say, you know, thank you, you guys. So we give them a big thank you. Because, you know, it's not just, you know, thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for coming here and inviting us into your organization. We are very grateful too. We think we can do wonderful things together. So I just want to remind you about our story today, right? We've heard lots of stories about gratitude. And I've always realized that as I started thinking about gratitude, it begets generosity. And then generosity begets gratitude. It's this wonderful circle that we live in. And so if you're ever finding yourself like, boy, I don't get it, I don't have enough, try giving. And then you find that actually so much more comes into your life. And I think this church has a lot to give. It's full of generous, wonderful, kind people. So I'd like to have you come and join us. Join Stand Up for Kids, and I bet you're going to find yourself grateful that you get to be part of such a wonderful organization. Blessed be and amen.
Please stand as you're comfortable.